Okay, I'm gonna show you the warm-up for pre-team. So, starts out with 5 arm circles forward and 5 arm circles backward. Arm circles look like this. They should be big. Should be squeezing your core so the girls aren't going like this while they do it. You're gonna do those on both arms. Then you're gonna skip to 10 crisscrosses, windmills, and wood choppers. So crisscrosses, I like to have shoulders and feet in line. And they just look like this. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4 for that. Same thing with windmills. Feet shoulder width apart. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until you get to 10. Then you have wood choppers. There's 10 of these. They should look like this from the side. Really stretching those shoulders. Then you have shoulder stretches, 10 seconds crossbody and 10 seconds overhead. So crossbody looks like this. Just go as far as you can. Switch arms. And overhead looks like this. You can grab your hand or your elbow, but you should be feeling it through here. Then you skip to wrist stretches. So you're gonna do palms down first, like this, and then bending your arms however much you need to feel a stretch. Then you're gonna flip them and do palms up. Again, you can bend your arms as much as you need to feel that stretch. 10 seconds on each of those, and then you're gonna do 10 rolls like this. Just like that. And then you're gonna do your calf stretch. So this one, you're in kind of an awkward push-up position. And you lift one foot and try to get the heel of the other foot to go to the ground. You should feel it through your calf. You're gonna switch legs. Make sure you're doing 10 seconds on each side. And then you're gonna stand up again, and you're gonna do 5 ankle rolls on each foot. So just like this. And then the other foot. Again, put as much pressure as you need to feel the stretch. Then we have pike stretch. So, for pike, you want your heels and toes together. You're gonna reach towards your toes, but you wanna keep your feet flexed. Just like this, you're gonna hold that for 10. Once you've done 10 seconds of that, you have 10 point and flexes. So, the girls are gonna stand upright. Their hands can be here, doesn't really matter. You're gonna point, flex, point, flex 10 times. And after that, they have candlesticks. Candlesticks, it's really important to hit your candlestick, pull your feet back, and then hit the candlestick again before you come up. And then to finish the candlestick, you wanna reach forward. So it should look like this. So their weight should be on their shoulders when they're in the full candlestick, and they should be fully extended until they're pretty much straight. And then to finish off pike stretch, we're gonna do 5 lifts. So again, keep the best posture you can. Arms just go on the ground. You kind of use your fingertips to balance. You do 5 lifts. Again, it's really important to keep your legs straight and make sure your heels are glued together. Then you're gonna do straddle stretch. So obviously straddle looks like this. You're gonna start with your feet flexed again, and you're gonna do 10 seconds on each side, and then 10 seconds in the middle. We want our top arm to go over and our bottom arm to go under. So it should look like this. And then switch. And middle. We want the girls to reach out as far as they can. Again, keeping our feet flexed and our knees straight. Then they are going to do 5 candlesticks in their straddle. These can be really awkward at first, but they should look like this. And they just touch behind them, reach forward, do it again 5 times. And then they have 5 reaches or 5 lifts on each side. So they're gonna do 5 on this side. Again, great posture, keeping our knees straight and our toes pointed. Other side, and then finally the middle. These, again, are also difficult for the girls at first to do correctly. A lot of them just wanna bend their knees together or lean. We want everything to stay neutral. After that, they're gonna go straight into their lunges before their splits. So we're gonna start with their good leg lunge. They're gonna pull this hip forward. So I'm in my good leg, I'm gonna pull my bad leg's hip forward so I can feel a stretch right through here. Hold that for 10. Then I'm gonna keep pulling forward, but I'm gonna lift my leg up. And I'm not gonna start counting until I get my balance and I'm good. Hold it there. That one should stretch further down towards the knee. Then you're gonna do your front leg straight, drop your back leg, front leg straight, toe is flexed. And you're gonna reach forward as far as you can. And then they're gonna slide into their split for 15 seconds. When they do their split, make sure their back knees are on the ground and that both knees are straight, both toes are pointed. A lot of them wanna do this and turn their hips out. Hips need to be square, even if that means they can only go to like here. That's okay. If the girls are all the way down in their splits, they're gonna hold it with their arms out to the side like a leap. So that's for 15 seconds, and then you're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. So after that, you're gonna go into your butterfly, feet together, pretty close into your body, and they can either use their hands to press their knees down, or if they're not so flexible, but I recommend leaning forward and using your elbows to push your knees down. Getting a nice stretch in your hips, and then extending out into a diamond shape, so your legs form a diamond. And same thing, you're gonna push down your knees with your elbows, or if they're not so flexible, they can also use their hands. That's for 10 seconds. Then they're gonna flip over to froggy. This is another one that's kind of awkward, but make sure their hips from this knee to this knee, make sure it's all a straight line. They hold it like this. They shouldn't be laying down. They should be on their elbows. Once you've held it for 10 seconds, you want to roll your hips under so that your legs are in another diamond shape. And I can show you from the side too. Your legs are in a diamond shape, and they want to try to get their feet to the ground very gently, and it should stretch right here in their hips. After 10 seconds, they're gonna do their middle split. I recommend starting middle splits on a line because no matter what, from their left heel to their right heel, it needs to be a straight line. They don't want their butt too far back or too far forward. So, unless they can't go farther than this, they should be on their elbows. Just like that. Again, pointing your toes, straight knees. It should just be a straight line from toe to toe. After that, they're gonna do their seal, happy cat, mad cat, push-up position complex. This shows up a couple times in the lesson plans, but you're gonna do 3 and everything is 3 seconds. So it'll look like this. You're gonna start in their seal. They can bend their knees if they're not quite feeling a stretch. But it's important to keep your heels together. So they're gonna hold this for 3 seconds. Then they're gonna go straight into happy cat, making sure there's perfect right angles. Happy cat, 3 seconds. Mad cat for 3 seconds. Their head should be in on this one. Kind of like a hollow position. And then they're gonna hold a push-up position for 3 seconds. And then back down to their seal to do that 2 more times. And then to finish it off, they're gonna do bridge rocks. Most of them will just push up into a bridge. Maybe towards the end of senior 3, you can start incorporating back bends, but it's really not necessary to warm up. So they're gonna push up into their bridge. Their feet are gonna be together, no matter what. And they're gonna extend until their legs are straight. This should give them a good stretch in their shoulders and upper back, and it's really gonna help their tumbling later on. So that's the full general warm-up for preteen that they do at the beginning of every practice. Next is their floor complex. It's super short and super simple, but it's easy for the girls to do it incorrectly. So you start with releve walks. They're gonna start on one side of the floor and walk all the way to the other side of the floor. For this, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna show you a small section. So they should be on their highest releve, arms stretching up. You want their whole body to be straight, squeezing their tummies, squeezing their booty, and then reach towards the sky and walk. We want to encourage them to walk with straight knees. And then same exact thing going backwards, except for when they get close to the end, we want them to feel with their toes instead of looking behind them, because that'll cause them to drop a shoulder and it just creates bad habits. So then after that, they're gonna move on to their kicks. First one is forward kicks. Arms are out to the side. Most of them will do it on flat foot. They're probably not gonna do it releve until they're at the end of senior 3, which is totally okay. So arms pressed back to the sides. Their shoulder blades should be touching. Arms pressed back. And they're gonna kick with straight knees. These kicks are slow. They shouldn't be fast. Again, everything should be with straight leg. Their legs should never bend. Then they're gonna move on to side kicks. Side kicks will look like this from the front. Their knee is facing the ceiling. Most of them probably won't be able to go high, and that's okay. But the important part is their knee faces the ceiling, and again, they're walking in a straight line. They're not falling over when they walk. Finally, they're gonna do arabesque kicks. So they face forward and kick backwards. So arms out to the side once again, and they kick behind them. These are slow as well, and both legs stay straight the entire time. So that's the whole floor complex for preteen. This is preteen's vault warm-up. So these are gonna be down and back. They're gonna start with just simple jogging. Encourage them to use the proper running arms. like this. I usually say hip pocket, eye socket, switch. So encourage them to use proper running arms even when they are jogging. Then they're gonna go to high knees. High knees again, proper running arms. You're gonna go like this. If you need to start slow with, especially the younger ones, that is okay. And then moving on to booty kicks. Again, using proper running arms. Booty kicks. Starting slow, again, is completely fine. Then they do skips. When they skip, we're gonna try to incorporate an arm circle. Maybe not the first couple weeks, but slowly encourage them to use an arm circle so that when they're off the ground, their arms are up, but when they're on the ground, they're down. So I'll show you what it should look like. Just like that, we're kind of emulating a hurdle there. And then they're gonna sprint. All those are down and back on one of the runways. It doesn't really matter which one. And then they're gonna do one punch back. So after they do their runs down and back, they're gonna come to the board, whichever board they're going to be using. The board really shouldn't have more than 4 springs ever. And step with their bad leg, hurdle with their good leg, and then they're gonna jump back. Encourage them again to use that fast arm circle into it. Most of them should know this technique from classes, but we're really cleaning it up in pre-team. So it should look like this. Just like that. Really practicing getting their feet in front of them. And that is the whole vault warm-up. This is pre-team's bar warm-up. Their whole bar warm-up uses a Forster bar, which is this. So they start with a 10-second hollow hold. Most of them, if not all of them, will need help with this the first couple times, but they're gonna hold the bar. We do not want Lego hands. You want the thumbs in with the rest of the fingers. They're gonna hold it by their hips, just like this. Again, keeping head neutral, feet together, straight knees, all that stuff. Then they're gonna flip over once they've done 10 seconds and do 10-second tight arch. This is another thing the girls will need help with because a lot of them think that this is gonna cut it, but it doesn't. So, again, thumbs in when they're holding the Forster bar. This one's gonna be covering their ears. So it should look like this. You should not see any ears. They're not gonna feel this shape on bars a whole lot in pre-team, but it's good to get them familiar with what tight arch is and what it feels like. Again, keeping the legs straight, toes pointed, feet together, all that fun stuff. After that, they're gonna sit in their pike position. It's really important to have good posture. Their arms are gonna be out in front of them, and they're just gonna do 10 wrist shifts, again with your thumbs in, just like this. Familiarizing them with the feeling of shifting the wrist around the bar is gonna help with every single skill they are ever gonna do on bars. So it's good to start that as young as possible. This is the pre-team beam warm-up. We're gonna encourage them to start using high beams in pre-team. So, you wanna make sure they're doing the proper mount and not just stepping up because that can lead to injuries, broken bones, stuff like that. So, I'm gonna encourage them to straddle up and put their feet on the back to stand up. This is very similar to the floor complex that they do at the beginning of practice. So they start with releve walks. Again, shooting up as tall as they can with their arms up on their highest releve. Just like that. And then that's down and back. Once you go down and back, you're gonna do backwards walks, same exact way. And they're gonna feel for the end of the beam instead of turning around. feel for the end of the beam with their toes. So once you're at the end of the beam, make it stop. Again, for those, we want to keep straight legs the entire time. Then for forward kicks, arms out to the side. They're going to be on flat feet. That's okay. Arms out to the side. Kick forward, keeping the knees straight. Just like that. And then next one, they're going to do side kicks. Side kicks again, just like on floor. Knees need to be facing the ceiling. And my leg is slightly in front of me. It's not right to the side because our hips have little mobility if they're right to the side. So it's slightly in front of me. Then finally they're going to do arabesque kicks. Again, arms up to the side, kicking behind them. This is really going to help them learn body awareness when they're kicking behind them, because a lot of them don't have that even in teen. So it's good to learn that in preteen so that they're not doing rings everywhere. So on all the kicks, our legs should be straight. So that's the beam warm up for preteen. Now we have the floor warm up. So floor warm up is starting laying on the ground on their elbows. They're gonna do elbow kicks. They're just gonna kick up 3 times on each leg. Then they're gonna switch and kick to the side, keeping straight knees and pointed toes. They shouldn't be moving around too much. The only thing that should be moving is their leg on both of those. So they're gonna do 3 on the left side, 3 on the right side, and then again, 3 left, 3 right. And then we're gonna go back to the Seal, Happy Cat, Mad Cat push-up position complex. Same thing that they did in warm up. So they do Seal for 3 seconds, keeping their heels together. Happy Cat for 3 seconds, Mad Cat for 3 seconds, and push-up position for 3 seconds. Back to Seal to do it 2 more times. And that's the whole floor complex for a preteen. This is preteam's cool down at the end of practice. So it's very similar to their general warm-up, just with a few tweaks. So they're gonna start with 10 seconds of their shoulder stretches. So that's across body and overhead for both arms. Then they do a 10-second pike stretch, and then a 10-second straddle stretch, again reaching in pike, and then reaching on both sides and the middle for straddle with flexed feet. Then they do their wrist stretches for 10 seconds again. So again, that's palms down, then palms up, and then rolling them out. Then they have 10-second calf stretch where they try to get their heel to the ground when they're in a push-up position. Again, 1 foot at a time. So 10 seconds for the right, 10 seconds for the left. Then they have their ankle rolls. So that's 5 on each side again. And then they're gonna hold their good leg, bad leg, and middle split each for 30 seconds. They don't need to do the lunges before unless you feel they need to. Most of the time they won't need to though. They can just go straight into it. Then they're gonna do their 10-second seal stretch without Happy Cat, Mad Cat, and push-up position. Just a normal seal stretch. And then they have 5 rock and rolls. So if you don't know what rock and rolls are, they look like this. And then they're gonna finish off their cool down with 5 bridge rocks. Once again, keeping their feet together and rocking until their knees are straight. And that's all of the cool down. This is the Would You Rather game that is in week 1 of the preteam lesson plans. This is for junior and both senior preteams. So it's just a fun little icebreaker to get to know, for the kids to get to know their teammates, and it's a good way to just kind of get them excited to do gymnastics. So this is what the paper looks like. One of the Would You Rathers will be in red and one of them will be in blue. So you're gonna read the first Would You Rather question, then you're gonna say, okay, if you pick this one, go to the red hula hoop. If you pick this one, go to the blue hula hoop. And they're gonna have a chance to choose which side they want. So, for example, one of them is, would you rather be a wizard or be a superhero? If you'd rather be a wizard, go to the red hula hoop. If you'd rather be a superhero, go to the blue hula hoop. So if I was a kid and I wanted to be a superhero, I would go to the blue hula hoop. But maybe somebody else would rather be a witch or a wizard, they would go to the red one. So it's a quick game that will hopefully just start getting the girls comfortable with you and each other. This is the shaping that is in the lesson plans for week 1 of all 3 pre-teams. So this is just getting the girls comfortable with each shape and kind of explaining when they're gonna have to use one over the other. So they're gonna have to know a hollow hold, which is like this. A lot of the girls want to do more of a V-up. So you need to know the difference between a V-up and a hollow body hold. Also, a lot of the girls will keep either their feet or their head on the ground, so it will look like this or like this. And that is not right either. So hollow is probably the most important one because it comes up in almost every single skill they're ever gonna do. So they're gonna need to know what a hollow looks like laying down and when they're standing up. So again, all of this should be done with proper form. So straight knees, feet together, feet pointed, all that stuff. So when they're standing up, it's rounded shoulders. So it's getting them familiar with the proper terminology of all of the shapes. The second one is going to be tight arch. So this is what their tight arch look like. A lot of them think a tight arch is this or this or this, which is not true. So you can explain to them when a tight arch is useful. So a tight arch, when you're standing up, your shoulders are open and your back is bent. A lot of the times, if they're in an arch, they're also looking at their hands. Finally is straight body, which is a really important one for handstands. So straight body on the ground would look like this. So my ears are covered and all of that. This is probably the easiest one for the girls, but when they're standing up, a lot of them just kind of slouch and have bad posture, or they're too archy. So explain to them that straight body is reaching all the way up and not sagging this way or this way. So that's pretty much all the shaping for week 1. You can have them hold it for a couple seconds. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this, and that's up to you. But these are really important for the rest of their gymnastics career. during 4 corners, the girls run around the floor while music's playing, and then you can stop the music whenever you like. They all have to find a corner, and then you can roll the dice, and whichever number it lands on is that corner has whatever conditioning it is. So, for example, if it's corner 2, then everybody in corner 2 has 15 V-ups. And then if it lands on 5, nobody has conditioning. They're all safe. And then if it lands on 6, everybody has 30 jumping jacks. And then you repeat that until the time's up.